everyone, and welcome to KristenKellyTV. Today I'm going to be doing a story time for you and a mukbang video while I drink Bud Light. So if this is something you want to watch, please continue. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not. Alright, let's get into it. First of all, for this mukbang video, I'm eating ramen. So this is a dating story time. So when I was about 23, I went on a date with this guy, and what was his name? God, I don't even remember. Oh, I do remember his name. Should I say his name? Maybe I shouldn't say his name just in case he sees this. I mean, he was such a weirdo. I'm just gonna say his name. His name was Shawn. So, this guy, Shawn, was my roommate at the time's friend. And he was like really short, like when I say short, like really, really short, like hobbit short. And he was really not attractive, and he was like not somebody that I think I would like ever go for, but he was so nice that I was like, you know, he's kind of a nice guy. So we went on a few dates. We went like to a few different concerts. He was super, super nice. Nothing bad about him. Like, he was like a good guy. He seemed really nice. We never slept together. He like never even like tried to touch me, which is good because I was like not attracted to him. I think it was like almost in my eyes like more like friends, but I think that he did like want more. But at the same time, he like never like tried to kiss me or touch me or anything. So I don't know. I felt like very safe around him. Also, guys, he was so tiny that literally I could have probably kicked his ass. Like, he was that tiny. He was like a hobbit of a man. So, this particular story is one night he asked me to go to a movie. And this was when the Facebook movie, The Social Network, was like happening. And he was like, oh, do you want to go see The Social Network? And I was like, yeah, I've like really wanted to see it. So we went to this movie theater in Los Angeles on Vine and Sunset. That's pretty expensive. I would say a ticket, like one movie ticket, is like $25. Wait, let's back up. So he picks me up for the date. And I'm not saying like you need to have like a nice car or anything to impress me, but his car was super, super dirty. I mean, like when he picked me up, he had to like move stuff, like move like junk, like trash from the front seat, which already is really weird, you know? You couldn't have like taken a trash bag and like put stuff into the bag and thrown it out before he picked me up. So he picked me up in a car that was like essentially a junkyard, which is fine, but not fine for the first date. You're trying to like impress people, you know? Well, I mean, this wasn't our first date. We had gone to a few concerts, but like on a date, you know? So he picks me up in this car that's like kind of junk. It's kind of weird too. And then he was dressed like a bum. Like he was dressed really weird, like almost like he was like a coal miner in the 1930s, or he was just like really looked like he was wearing a wife beater, which was so funny looking because he was like so tiny and petite. He was wearing a wife beater and he was like covered in soot. Like it really looked like he was at a, I don't know, like it looked kind of comical, almost like if you were going for a role as somebody that was like a day laborer, this is like what you would dress like. So that was kind of weird. Like you didn't even put enough effort to like take a shower. So, and I even said to him, I was like, oh, when I first saw him, because I'd never seen him like look like that, I was like, oh my god, where did you just come from? Like, you know, we can reschedule. And he was like, yeah, I just came from home. What are you talking about? Like it was just, I literally thought he was going to say like, oh, my car broke down, or I was helping a friend move or something. But no, he was like, no, I just came from home. Why? Wait, do you know want to go update? And I was like, no, of course. But it was just weird, and I didn't say anything. And he kind of smelled bad too. Like, I don't know what he was doing, but he said he was at home. So maybe something happened and like he was too embarrassed to tell me. I don't know. So we go to the movie. We're going to the movie. And someone cuts him off. And he went insane. Like, I understand, you know, but it's just like funny because when people cut me off, I'm always like, whatever, I don't care. Like, he went insane. Like, oh, that piece of shit, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, was screaming, like, really going crazy. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like, calm down, you know? There's, like, so many more important things to be, like, upset about in the world. So we get to the movie theater, and we wait in this really long line to pay for tickets, which, honestly, like, if you're going on a date with somebody, you should buy the tickets in advance online. It's the 20th century. So we have to wait in line, and I'm in heels, of course, waiting in this long line. We go up to get the tickets, and he, like, tells the lady tickets, and you get to pick on the screen. Oh, I'm gonna burp. Excuse me. You get to pick on the screen where you want to sit. So I'm like, oh, let's sit here. You know, I don't want to sit too close because I have an astigmatism. I get dizzy. So we pick the seats, and then the lady says the price. They were like $25, or they were expensive, like maybe $35. They were really expensive tickets, like maybe one of the most expensive movie tickets I've ever seen. And when I saw how expensive they were, I was like, oh, that's way too much. Here, I'll pay for my ticket. Or I was like, oh wait, that's way too much. So I go to I'm looking in my purse, you know, with my wallet, thinking that he's gonna be like, no, like, I'll pay for them. But he didn't. So I was like, oh, I'll just pay for my ticket. So I'm like, oh, I'll pay for my ticket. And he's like, oh, are you gonna pay for both of our tickets? And that really threw me off, because I said like, oh, I'll pay for my ticket when I found out how expensive it was, but he invited me to the movie. So I assumed that he was going to be paying for it. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just pay for my ticket. And he's like, well, you're the one who went in your purse looking for your wallet, and you got out your credit card. So yeah, if you wanna swipe your card and pay for the tickets, you can. And I was like so taken aback by what he said. I was like, well, I'll pay for my ticket if you want to pay for your ticket. Like, I said it just like that. And he's like, no, I'll buy the tickets if you don't want to buy them. So I was like, okay, you can buy the tickets then. Like you should have said from the start. So he paid for the tickets, and it was such a weird exchange that the ticket lady kind of was like, almost looking at me like, run. And then the people that were standing behind us, it was like two girls, like they kind of like looked at each other, and I like saw them looking at each other, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is just like too much. So we go to the movie, which was The Social Network, but there's a bar at the movie theater. So he's like, speaking of bar, he's like, oh, let's get a drink. I was like, no, I'm good. It's like 6 o'clock. Going to a movie. I don't really need a drink. And he's like, no, come on. So he goes up to the bar, like just like to the side of the bar. So I think like, oh, he's gonna grab a drink. He gets 4 drinks, 2 drinks for each of us, and 2 shots of tequila. And I'm kind of like, oh shit. Like, if I drank 2 drinks and a shot of tequila, I would be so drunk, and I would not be enjoying a movie. It was so weird that he just ordered those. So the bartender said how much it was, so I knew that like they were pretty expensive drinks. Excuse me, like each drink was probably like $16, and then I think the shots were like, like $15 because they were like premium. So I was like, why do I keep saying like? I'm trying to stop doing that. Sorry, it's a habit I have. So then I replied, okay, yeah, I'll have one of the drinks, because he'd already paid for them. So I drank one of the drinks, and then he said, oh, drink this one. No, thank you. He drank my drink. So he drank 3 drinks, and then I took a sip of the shot, and I couldn't do it. So he finished. So he took 90% of my shot. So this guy who probably weighed 80 pounds took 3 drinks and 2 shots. We go into the movie, and we're sitting in the movie, and I notice that he's sweating a lot. That takes a lot. Like, if you're in a movie theater and somebody is sweating so much that you realize it, that is a lot. Just imagine the fact that you're looking ahead, you're not looking at the other person, and you realize how much they're sweating. So we were at the end seats, and I'm realizing that he is sweating profusely. And he gets up and he says, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to use the restroom. He gets up, He goes to the bathroom. Five minutes go by. 10 minutes go by. 35 minutes go by. 45 minutes went by before he came back. I'm not joking. I sat in the movie by myself for 45 minutes. He comes back and he is like falling up the stairs, and I can see him, and everybody, like all the rows in front, are turning, like everyone. It was so weird because he was slowly, like a sloth, like falling up the stairs, and we were like pretty high up on the end row. So he comes back, he sits down, acts like nothing has happened. He's been gone for 45 minutes. This is what, an hour and a half movie at that? No. So he sits down, and I'm like, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Why? Well, you've been gone for 45 minutes. And he's, I haven't. I know what time it was when you left. Like, it was just so crazy because I had looked at my watch multiple times because I was concerned something had happened to him. So I'm like, oh, no, yeah, you were gone for 45 minutes. And he's like, oh, was I? Oh, I was at the bar. He left to go drink at the bar in the movie theater on our date. So, movie ends. We go to this sushi restaurant, and I ordered probably like 6 rolls, thinking that we both were going to eat. And this is like when I ate meat, so yes, I was eating fish, I was eating sushi. So, the rolls come. He's not eating anything. Like, not eating a roll, not eating a bite. He's not eating any ginger. He's not eating anything. And he's sitting there like this. And I'm sitting there like this. This guy's on coke. He is definitely on coke. Like, he's on coke! He's like sitting there like, not eating anything, and I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. I am literally on a date with somebody who is like a drunk and a coke addict. So, I, at this point, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. So like, hey, Shawn, why did you go to the bar for 45 minutes during the movie? You invited me to see this movie. It seems kind of like you just abandoned me at the movie theater. He says, no. It wasn't you. You know what it was? He got so serious and looks me in the eyes and says, I love Facebook so much. Anyone talking negatively about Facebook kills me inside. I'm not joking. Not joking. This guy said that to me. So, I say, well, you know, I mean, I wish the Holocaust didn't happen, but the Holocaust happened. I wish a lot of bad things didn't happen, but they happen, and you gotta know about it. I mean, there are bad things that happen with things that you love, and you have to know the negative. No. I love Facebook. Don't talk negatively about Facebook. I say, great. Can I get these to go? So the bill comes, and of course, I'm like going into my purse because that's what a polite person does. Even though he didn't eat anything, he still was the one who suggested we got food. He was still the one that ruined this date, and honestly, I felt like he should have paid at this point because this guy was insane. You got money for Coke, you got money for my sushi. You know what I'm saying? So he just like really slowly goes to his wallet. So I, out of the generosity in my heart, said, you want to split this? And he said, yeah, that would be great. So I'm like, you need more money for Coke. I get it. Times are tough. So the lady comes, split the bill, blah, blah, blah. He drops me off at my house. He says to me, this was such a magical evening. I don't think I've ever been on a better date. And I said to him, Shawn, you got problems. Please don't ever call me again. Goodbye. I hope you guys liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please leave me comments, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.